Okay, editor, you may have to be a little bit hefty on the censor button for this one, because this is going to be a sweary one. Okay, now, most of you know that I'm usually a calm guy on the roads. I don't tend to get angry easily, unless I'm a passenger, in which case I get very nervous because I'm used to being on a bike and being able to lean. But yeah, just a little message for almost everyone out there, it seems, who uses a road vehicle at all, and that is
learn to drive.
You see, on our roads, yeah, we have two lanes. Generally, we've got a left lane and a right lane. Now, if you are in a vehicle or on a bike or whatever, generally, as a rule of thumb in this country, you use the left lane. Yeah, if there is an obstruction, you can go out into the other lane, but why? Why do I see so many people straddling the middle line? And I don't want to generalise, I hate to generalise, but I'm going to have to. They're always old. I mean, do these people think, oh, no, this is only the 20s? There's not that many vehicles on the road, I shouldn't see one for another 400 miles? Newsflash, 21st century now, there are other vehicles on the road. So yeah, if you are driving along, stay in your f***ing lane. The amount of times that I have nearly been run off the road and had to go over to the left-hand side because someone has, to the left of my own lane, because someone is straddling the middle line, it's f***ing ridiculous. Oh, it's hot today. And even if you can stay in your lane, generally, I am okay if you need to take your time getting up to the speed limit, or slightly below the speed limit, 28 to 30, I'm fine with. For example, I used to drive around an elderly relative, and she was fragile, so I would take my time accelerating up to the speed limit. Or you might be carrying animals who you can't really slam the throttle down and slam them into the back of the cage or the boot or whatever, but please, do try to reach the speed limit. I'm okay, as I say, with going 28 in a 30, or even 35 in a 40 if it comes to it. But if you are doing 20 in a 30, or even 20 in a 40, which I experienced today, then just please retake your test or something. Because, lesson to learn there, you won't pass if you're doing that, because you are making other vehicles change their speed and or course. And here's a little news flash that might be relevant to some people. If you're at a roundabout, you may well see a give way sign coming up to it, especially if it's a small one. That give way applies to the right. Yeah? You give way to people who are coming from your right. If you approach a mini roundabout, yes, again, this may be reverse, or it may be that way, I don't know, whatever. But it's to the right is the important thing. And if you need help remembering that, hang on, I'm just going to... If you need help remembering that, because a lot of people seem to, hold your hands out in front of you. From my perspective at least, the one that forms an L, that's the left. That's the one you don't have to give way to. I mean, obviously, if they're already on the roundabout and you're going to slam into them if you don't give way, then that's different. But if someone is to your right, they are the ones you give way to. Yeah? If they are coming, you stop. If someone is to your left, you can go. There's a little roundabout down near where I live. I have to take it regularly. The amount of times I've been caught up there because two people have arrived at it at the same time, one to the left and the one that I'm behind, and I have had to wait for the person in front of me to take their right of way. It's just driving me insane. And I'm sorry, I have to get this stuff out now because I try and remain calm on the roads. I'm a biker. If you don't remain calm, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you end up dead. And I'm sorry, again, just so I can be unbiased here, as a biker, if you are travelling between two lanes of stationary traffic at a slow speed, that's fine. That's filtering. I've got nothing wrong with that. If you are travelling between two lanes of traffic at 2 miles an hour below the speed limit, that's not lane splitting, that's not filtering, that is being a because people in that traffic, they're not going to expect to see you coming up to on their right or their left at 25 miles an hour in a 30 when all the other traffic around is stationary. And if it's on a town road that you're doing it, people cross between those parked cars. The amount of videos I've seen on YouTube of a biker who's been going along at nearly 30 miles an hour between two lanes of stationary cars, and someone's come out in front of them. I've even seen people hit on these videos, and then the biker acts as if it was their fault. They had no frickin' reason to expect that you would be coming past these cars at nearly 30 miles a f***ing hour. Another thing on the whole lane splitting going quickly thing, if you are coming between two lines of traffic at damn near the speed limit, then someone who wants to change lanes isn't going to know you're there. They can do their whole mirror signal maneuver thing, and they've mirrored, you've not been in that mirror because you've been way back. They've then started to manoeuvre, and in the time between mirror signal and manoeuvre, you've appeared between the lines of traffic. Of course they're going to come out in front of you. They've got no way of knowing that you were going to be there. On a similar note though, if you are changing lanes, don't forget that part. Don't forget the mirror signal manoeuvre. The preceding two are the most important of those things, because if a biker is coming, and they may be filtering, they may be going at a reasonable speed limit, if you don't mirror, if you just assume that it's going to be free, and you then pull out in front of them, that's your bad, because you didn't look. And especially if you don't signal before you manoeuvre, how is that biker who's there going to know what the hell you're planning until you've pulled out in front of them like a frickin' missile? And it's not just that people don't indicate. I'm sure I am not the only one who has wanted to scream this at people. But if you are approaching or on a roundabout, your indicators still f***ing work. And believe it or not, you're supposed to use them. If you are going around a roundabout, don't keep indicating right if you're going to pull off left. Again, that's this country. Other countries don't keep indicating left if you're going to pull off right, okay? But if you're indicating to carry on around, you are making people wait while you then don't carry on around, okay? And even if you're not indicating to carry on around, indicate that you're gonna pull off! It's not even like it's that hard. It's just, right, okay, I'm gonna drive along. I'm going around a roundabout. Click, there we go, I'm indicating left, and there I go, I'm pulling off left. It's not hard. It is literally a case of, right, going around, click, there we go. That's what indicating is. And I know some of you can do it, because I've followed you after this. You know, if we've happened to be going the same way, I've followed you after you've pulled off this roundabout without indicating, and we've come up to a junction, and you've indicated to pull off. Your indicators do work. I know they work. You know they work. So f***ing use them. Obviously, as I've said, I don't like generalising, but as a rule of thumb, BMW owners, that part will not apply to you because you don't use your indicators anyway in general. Sorry to generalise, just calling it like I've experienced through personal experience. That sentence kind of got away from me that bit there, it fell flat in the anger. I'm running out of tea already, this may become a 2-cupper, and this is the big cup. Maybe I should have made the 2-pint cup, but hey, hindsight's 2020, isn't it? And hindsight being 2020, if I look behind me and I can see the spinach you've got in your teeth, you're too close. Back the off! It's called a braking distance. And while I know that technology has improved and brakes are better now than they used to be, they can still fail, and there is the human element. You need to have a reaction time before you can put the brakes on. So if I can reach behind me and polish the bonnet of your car while I'm on my bike, you're too close! Back off! Obviously, as I said earlier, I am not entirely unbiased in this, as I am a biker, but I am also trying to remain a little bit impartial, so bikers, on the same subject of indicators that I mentioned earlier, get into the habit of cancelling them as you've gone around a corner. Because the amount of times, and again, this does apply to car drivers, but it's more prevalent with bikes. The amount of times that I have seen someone on a bike indicating that they're going to pull into a junction that I'm about to come out of, and I've just sat there and gone, you know what, general rule as a biker is you don't go unless you know 100% for certain what someone's going to do. I've sat there and I've waited, and that person who was indicating left, that biker or occasionally car driver who has been indicating left, has just zipped on straight past me because they've forgotten to cancel their indicator after a turn they made a while back. It's unbelievable. It happens. Once is too much, but it happens all the time around here. So, bikers, every corner that you go around, you push that cancel button. Even if you hadn't been indicating to go around it, even if it's just a turn in the road, I've got into this habit just to make sure. If I go around a turn in the road, I bash the button. I bash that cancel button. Because it makes it muscle memory that when you go around a corner, you push the cancel button. So that way, if you had been indicating and you go around that corner, you automatically push that cancel button and you don't leave your indicator going for someone to pull out in front of you. But on that exact same note, with the amount of cars that are and vehicles that are on the road now, people will make mistakes. Don't do something unless you know exactly what other people are going to do. And don't pull out unless you know 100% that the person who's coming from your right or your left or whatever, depending on which country you are, is not just going to keep going. I know a lot of people get annoyed by having to wait, but I would far rather wait behind someone at a junction who isn't sure if it's safe than watch them pull out and smear some poor who's been coming the other way. So, okay, yeah, it's a little tedious having to wait sometimes, but if you don't want to be the witness at an accident where a grandma and 2 kids have been killed or something, then show a little patience, let them be certain, okay? Right, okay, that's tea finished, so I'm gonna just round this down again. Learn to use your indicators. Learn to stay in a lane. Learn which lane you need if possible, though I didn't want to rant too much on that one because some of our lane systems are very confusing. Learn to use your indicators and your mirrors. Learn that other people aren't psychic and don't know for certain what you're going to do just because you do. And final thought, learn to drive. WTF Rants out. Bye-bye.